من محمد-رضا شجریان فرزند ایران صدای من جزئی از فرهنگ کهن ایرانه که میخواد یادآور بشه به مردم جهان.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we are counting down our picks for the top Iranian creators. For this list, we'll generally be using Persian when referring to the language and Iranian when referring to the people. We use both interchangeably and recognize Iran's multi-ethnic makeup.
How could I possibly make my family and friends see what I see? How could I describe the indescribable? Shams is my sea of mercy and grace.
Before we continue, if you like this video and want more on Iran, its culture, history, art, and heritage, subscribe to our exclusive channel on Iran, Persia Mojo. Number 10. Nima Yushij. Named Ali Esfandiari at birth, Nima Yushij is widely hailed as the father of modern Persian poetry. He shattered millennia of literary tradition by freeing verse from rigid classical meters in favor of flexible lines, a conversational cadence, and vivid imagery drawn from contemporary life. His pivotal Afsaneh reads like a manifesto for this new movement, while Phoenix extended his symbolist and socially engaged vision. Nima's revolution created the space for a new generation of icons, including Forough Farrokhzad, Sohrab Sepehri, and Ahmad Shamlou. Even poets who rejected his meter, such as Simin Behbahani, wrote in his long shadow. His stone house in Yush, now his resting place, anchors the legend, a villager who rewrote the laws of Persian poetry. Number 9. Mani the Painter. The 3rd century prophet painter Mani founded Manichaeism, a religion framing existence as an epic struggle between a spiritual world of light and a material one of darkness.
Manichaeism was once one of the most widespread and popular religions in the world and has been called by scholars the first world religion.
To make his doctrines universally accessible, especially to those who could not read, he created the Arjang, a holy book of pictures to accompany his scriptures. This pioneering fusion of word and image serves as a remarkable forerunner to modern graphic novels and illustrated books.
For the rest of the second phase and into the third phase, which is the current one, the purpose of this whole existence is to separate the light from its dark material, in order to hopefully reach a complete separation of the two once again.
His movement spread from the Roman Empire to China along the Silk Road. Though Mani was imprisoned and executed under Bahram I, his followers sustained a refined tradition of didactic book art. Surviving manuscripts from sites like Turfan show his visual model of pairing picture with text outlived him by centuries.
Scholars of religion have argued in recent years that it's a mistake to essentialize a religion, boil a religion down to a monolithic essence. I'd rather argue that the history of Manichaeism is a story of varieties of Manichaeism. Varieties of Manichaeism that adapted differently over the centuries, whether in Egypt, Iran, or in China.
Number 8. Hossein Alizadeh. Steeped in tradition, Alizadeh is a leading tar and setar player and one of the most important composers of contemporary Persian classical music. He trained with masters of the Radif, the canonical repertoire of historical Persian music, and recorded the complete Mirza Abdullah Radif for tar and setar before charting his own innovative course. His most celebrated work, Neynava, is a concerto for ney and string orchestra that bridges Persian modal systems and Western orchestration. He founded the Hamavayan Ensemble in 1989 to explore choral textures, and later co-founded Masters of Persian Music to present Persian classical repertoire to international audiences. He founded the Hamavayan Ensemble in 1989 to explore choral textures, and later co-founded Masters of Persian Music to present Persian classical repertoire to international audiences. Through Grammy-nominated recordings, international tours, film scores, and teaching, Alizadeh has carried a revered art form into the modern era while expanding its reach. Number 7. Farid Attar. Long before Rumi, there was his acknowledged master, Attar of Nishabur, an apothecary who became one of the most influential spiritual storytellers in Persian literature. He used narrative poetry to map the Sufi path. In his signature poem, The Conference of the Birds, a flock journeys through 7 valleys to seek a divine creature, only to discover the divine is their own collective self.
Here, each bird represents an aspect of the nafs, or ego, that clings to worldly things. One bird is attached to his possessions, another to reputation, and so on.
His only surviving prose work, Memorial of the Saints, is a landmark collection of early Sufi saints' lives. Attar's life ended in the Mongol sack of Nishabur, but his influence proved enduring. As Rumi wrote, Attar roamed the 7 cities of love. We are still at the bend of a single alley.
The beloved had never been far. The journey had always been within. This ancient Persian tale reminds us, the path to the divine is not out there in distant lands, but within the stillness of the heart.
Number 6. Mohammad-Reza Shajarian.
I think Shajarian, by instinct, he has been catapulted into someone who really articulates the pains of the past.
Starting singing at age 5 in Mashhad, Mohammad-Reza Shajarian rose to become Iran's preeminent classical vocalist. He mastered the Radif, debuted on Radio Khorasan in 1959, and reached global audiences through celebrated albums including Bidad, Dastan, and Night, Silence, Desert. He received UNESCO's Picasso Medal and Mozart Medal and earned 2 Grammy nominations. Shajarian also co-founded Masters of Persian Music in 2000. Rabbana, his Ramadan prayer, aired nationwide until his criticism of the government caused it to be banned in 2009.
جامعه ما مثل همه جامعه دیگه در وهله اول اون آزادی‌های فردی رو میخوان. آزادی‌های فردی مهمتر از هر چیز دیگه. مثل آزادی‌های شغلی، آزادی‌های اعتقادی، باورها، دیگه آزادی‌های.
Shajarian even designed special instruments for Persian music. He died in Tehran in 2020 and was buried by Ferdowsi's tomb in Tus, where mourners sang The Dawn Bird, an Iranian ballad often associated with protest.
صدای من جزئی از فرهنگ کهن ایرانه که میخواد یادآور بشه به مردم جهان که ما دارای چه فرهنگی بودیم، فرهنگ انسانی، فرهنگ عشق، صلح و صفا.
Number 5. Saadi of Shiraz.
Human beings are members of a whole, in creation of one essence and soul. If one member is inflicted with pain, other members uneasy will remain.
You've likely seen his words without knowing his name. A Carpet with Sons of Adam. His poem on human unity is at UN headquarters, a testament to the vision of Saadi of Shiraz. His wisdom was shaped by decades of travel and study at Baghdad's Nizamiya, and his writing blends wit and empathy, delivering truths like, if you have no sympathy for human pain, the name of human you shall not retain.
If you have no sympathy for human pain, the name of human you cannot retain.
His masterpieces are the Bustan, a handbook of ethics and conduct, and the Golestan, rhymed prose rich with anecdotes and maxims. Both became classroom staples and proverbs. His influence reached Europe with André Durier's French translation of Golestan. Today, his tomb, the Saadi in Shiraz, remains a pilgrimage site. Number 4. Omar Khayyam.
Have you ever wondered how calendars came to be so precise? One of the key figures in this fascinating story is Omar Khayyam, a remarkable scholar from Southwest Asia.
The man who revolutionized algebra and helped create one of history's most accurate calendars isn't best known for either. Born in Neyshabur in 1048, Omar Khayyam helped to inaugurate the solar Jalali calendar, famed for its precision and the basis of Iran's modern calendar.
One of the standout features of the Jalali calendar is its unique system of leap years. Over a cycle of 33 years, they combined quadrennial and quinquennial leap years. This method ensured that the calendar remained in sync with the solar year. Remarkably, they calculated the length of the year to be about 365.2 for 219858156 days.
His algebra treatise is thought by many to be the first general theory of cubic equations, and he also wrote a major critic of Euclid's geometry. Centuries later, a twist of fate made him a famous poet. His quatrains, the Rubaiyat, survive in varying manuscript collections. Edward Fitzgerald's 1859 English version became a literary sensation, recasting Khayyam as a voice of wine, love, and existential doubt.
Beset the road I was to wander in. Thou wilt not with predestination round enmesh me, and impute my fall to sin. 58.
His modern white marble mausoleum in Neyshabur honors both the brilliant scientist and the accidental poet. Number 3. Rumi, Jalaladdin Muhammad Rumi.
Hazrati Mevlana Jalaluddin Rumi is, one of the most important saints, spiritual masters of the Islamic history.
He's one of America's best-selling poets, yet he was an Iranian born more than 800 years ago. How did Rumi become a modern spiritual icon? The turning point was a single encounter. A conventional scholar in Konya, he met the mystic Shams of Tabriz in 1244, and his voice ignited.
Bountiful is your life, full and complete. Or so you think, until someone comes along and makes you realize what you've been missing all this time.
From that fire came 2 pillars, the Masnavi, 6 books of teaching stories, and the Divan Shams, an outpouring of ecstatic lyrics. After Rumi's death, his followers shaped his path into the Molavi Sema, the turning ceremony now recognized by UNESCO.
I wish that everyone takes from Hazrati Mevlana the message of peacefulness, of returning towards God, and of living in a way that the Mevlevi tradition expresses, which is one of respect, of good manners.
Today, his tomb at the Maulana Museum in Konya draws visitors from around the world, proof that his call to love and interchange still travels across languages and centuries. Number 2. Hafez of Shiraz.
It should be emphasized that Hafez was the heir to a great poetic tradition.
In countless Iranian homes, one book is opened not just for its poetry, but to divine the future. This tradition of bibliomancy, Fal Hafez, is why the poet earned the title Tongue of the Unseen. The master behind this voice is Hafez of Shiraz, the undisputed master of the Persian ghazal, a complex lyric ode. His divan is renowned for jewel-like diction and layered wine and love imagery that skewers hypocrisy.
It is the way in which his poetry, although it grew out of a great tradition already established by his time, rides above all that preceded it, while it addresses itself to the hearts of everyone.
His influence went global after the first printed divan, Calcutta 1791, circulated in the West, and Goethe later drew on Hafez to craft his own West Eastern divan. Today, pilgrims flock to his tomb, the Hafez in Shiraz, a 1930s pavilion by André Godard, whose copper dome is shaped like a dervish's cap. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Nizami Ganjavi, the Shakespeare of Persian romantic epics.
Here are the prince and the princess in detail. They're Hossein and Shirin. This is a moment early in their love story, and the night is beautiful, full of perfumes. There is drink and poetry and so on.
Kamaleddin Behzad revitalized Persian painting with dynamic scenes and individualized figures.
Behzad was known in the late 15th century as the best painter and illustrator of Herat, a city in the West Afghanistan.
Sadiq Hidayat, Iran's pioneering modernist, whose Blind Owl became a Tehran sensation.
His description is so vivid and the storytelling so powerful that draw you in to read more. I think the reason it's become such a powerful book has to do with the way the words are weaved together to create a really profound reading experience.
Forough Farrokhzad, rebel voice of modern Iran, whose work shattered conventions.
My time is past. My time is past. I've carried my burden. I'm done with my work. He stays in his room from dawn to dusk, reads history of histories, or Ferdowsi's epics of kings.
Sohrab Sepehri, poet-painter whose books blended minimal nature and Zen-inspired mysticism.
مثل بال حشره وزن سحر را میدانم مثل یک گلدان میدهم گوش به موسیقی رویدن.
Number 1. Ferdowsi of Tus.
Honestly, when you see the book in person, these images are all simply breathtakingly beautiful. There are 500 glorious pages of them.
Ferdowsi of Tus spent 30 years forging his nation's soul into a single book. Finished in 1010, the Shahnameh, or Book of Kings, is 50,000 epic couplets carrying Persia from the first kings to the Arab conquest, told with the conviction that a ruler's right to rule depends on justice.
The first part tells of the mythical creation of Persia and its earliest mythical past. The second part tells of the legendary kings and the heroes Rostam and Sohrab.
Drawing on an earlier source and weaving in lines by the poet Daqiqi, Ferdowsi shaped the saga in Mutaqarib, an epic meter made for recitation. Its tragedies, like Rostam and Sohrab, became a moral mirror for Iranian culture. Today, the Shahnameh lives on through the dramatic storytelling of Naqqali performers, in legendary illustrated manuscripts, and at his monumental tomb in Tus, a shrine to the man who built an indestructible palace for his culture's memory. Which Iranian creator or single work do you think changed the course of history? Let us know in the comments.
Attar taught me that home was within me, that home was the journey that I was on.